Hi everyone, welcome to round 3 from the Brighouse Open, and because it was an open where everyone was in the same section, I got the nightmare of when you lose to one of the strongest players, you automatically get one of the lowest players. So I got a 101 ECF with black, but the funny thing is this was actually an upfloat because he was on 1 out of 1, so probably underrated. But then I was black, he played D4. Which also meant he must have won with black in previous round against someone a lot higher rated, which is not a good omen. I played E6, inviting French defence, C4, F5, now E3, Knight F6, Bishop D3, Bishop B7, Bishop D2, so he's probably going to try and bore me to death. So some normal developing moves. And now I've got a good position now. I played Knight B4, hitting the bishop and trying to provoke him to give his bishop up and return to double my pawns, which he did. Also got A-file pressure now, potentially. And his double pawn's quite good at keeping his pieces out of A3 and C3, and it's not weak. Bishop D8, trying to get the E5 advance in. Queen E1, E5, takes, E4. So as we know in the Dutch, when white plays E4, you either want to meet it with E5 or F4. And E5 is of course not possible, so we play F4. And now I was confident of a quick knockout. I'm just going to play H6, G5, G4, Queen H5 and hack. Or am I? Bishop E2, King H8, getting the king out of any nasty checks potentially on the diagonal. Queen B1. Now these players sometimes they play that strange moves that you don't understand what actually the point of the move is because it's that strange and you won't even consider it, and I didn't have a clue what this move did. In this position I want to play G5, sorry not G5, H6 to prepare G5, oops, is up by H6 to prepare G5, but I was worried about Knight H4, so I decided to come up with this ingenious idea of playing Rook G8 first, then G5, but then he plays Queen B2, and I realised to my horror I have no way to defend E5, so previous move I should have played maybe C6, Bishop C7. Of course I don't lose a pawn because I can counter attack E4, but now of course the queen's coming off, so I'm not going to get a nice attack. Now luckily in this position I have a tactic to win the pawn, and if you want to try and spot it please stop the video now. I played Bishop takes G2, although actually it's not even that great because I've got these doubled pawn on the queen side, so it's going to be quite hard to win, and I was a bit worried now. But I thought this rook on the 7th would be too strong. Bishop F6, getting another tempo. G5, trying to boot this knight away. So he kicks my rook, or I actually defend it. I thought this is going to be an easy win, this. But I'm a bit of counterplay now. And in fact now my king actually doesn't come in fast enough. So now it's actually looking quite drawish because I've got a double pawn on the queen side. And the only way I can try and break through is by trying to break with G4, which doesn't seem to do much. So I was getting rather worried now I wasn't even going to win this game. And I was behind on clock as well. For a change. It's Knight F1, King Bishop C5. So I'm leaving my pieces to get G4 in, but I've allowed his king a bit more active. In fact I can't play G4 now because he's got too many pieces on it, so first I have to play Bishop G1 to hit the knight, then G4. But then of course everything comes off. And his pawn gets blockaded. And now we offer the draw. And I was actually realised I've got practically nowhere to break through. This extra pawn's useless because it's doubled. I can't break it past another passed pawn, and this passed pawn's just going to get blockaded. And because there isn't that many pawns, the knight's actually quite good compared to the bishop. So I rejected it. You know, I nearly did accept it because I remember my game against Dave Siddle, who's like about 160, and he messed up an even more drawn position than this one. King G4, Knight F3, King F5, King D3. Bishop F6. I now think if he just plays Knight E1, then what am I doing? King G4, King E2. There's just no way to break through. It's a draw. But after King E2, he'll have my king in, and now I've got serious winning chances. I have to check. King D4. I think this might be lost now by this stage, but he went Knight B1, which is a dreadful move, and I actually did find the winning move on this not too long ago. So you can pause it if you want, but you might already have seen it. Because The point is knight actually gets trapped. If I can get my king to d3, the knight's got no squares and will be lost. How do I get it to d3? Deflect the king. So of course, he takes. And the knight is lost. So we tried king f2, but I kept my king in anyway. That was the idea of the check. Now to king e1. So if king c2, knight d2, deflect the king again. And of course it has to be taken this time. And either way I'm going to get my king to c2. So the knight is lost. And he made me play until checkmate, which is rather annoying. I still had to set it 7 or 8 minutes. So I didn't understand why I had to play until checkmate. I should just resign this position. But after a massive scare, then when I should have been drawn against the 101, I managed to force the win. Maybe he was a bit underrated because he was on 3 out of 5 going into the last round and won a grading prize. But still, it was nice to get back to winning ways anyway after some bad recent form. And hopefully I can do better in can win round 3 as well. And get up to the big boys again and get some rating points. But I hope you enjoyed this video. And please leave any comments and thoughts. Thanks very much.